In the crowd gathered here, every youth holds the exact same red book, a symbol of the absolute devotion demanded by the state. Enforcing that devotion across China came at a massive human cost. An estimated 100 million people were imprisoned, injured, or killed during the Cultural Revolution. During those years, the state dictated imagination itself. Under the direct control of Mao Zedong's wife, Jiang Qing, the entire realm of culture was narrowed down to state-sanctioned propaganda. Only art deemed entirely reliable to the revolutionary cause was allowed to exist. When Mao died and Deng Xiaoping emerged as the leader of the old guard, the political tension began to subside. Deng was trying to put a fractured China back together, and to do so, he allowed a brief, small window of political tolerance to open. Mao's death left an immense gap in the state's control. Into this sudden vacuum, a traumatized population poured their suppressed humanity, desperate for a way to speak. On the streets of Beijing, one group took immediate advantage of the quiet. Political activists began pasting handwritten essays across a brick stretch that became known as Democracy Wall. They wrote to demand compensation for the intense suffering caused by the past decade. On their way home from work, citizens would stop their bicycles and gather around the thick, torn layers of posters. They stood in silence, reading texts that openly criticized the government. Not long before this, speaking those words aloud would have meant execution. While the activists wrote, another awakening happened indoors. A group of completely self-taught, underground artists, calling themselves the Stars, were digging through dusty bookshelves. They found hidden volumes of Western art history, discovering Impressionist painters for the very first time, and seeing that art could exist for its own sake. The activists at the wall were demanding systemic democratic reform from the government. The artists, however, were focused entirely on personal expression. They simply wanted to create art that was human, devoid of any political messaging or state control. These two groups moved on separate tracks, one seeking law and the other seeking beauty. They were unaware that they were both accelerating toward the same wall of state power. When the Stars were denied an official permit for an exhibition, they found a workaround. They gathered their paintings, loaded them onto tricycles, and hung them directly on the metal fence outside the National Art Museum. Their work defied decades of cheerful, state-approved imagery. Sculptures like this one, titled Silence, featured a plugged mouth. It conveyed a direct sense of constraint, reflecting the deep isolation many had felt. The public reaction was visceral. Crowds of workers, peasants, and students gathered around the fence to see deformed and highly expressive art that actually mirrored their own voices, angry, helpless, and accusing. The exhibit was short-lived. Police soon arrived, shouting at the crowd and ordering the tricycles to be loaded back up. When the artists asked why, the police replied that if they said exhibitions weren't allowed, they weren't allowed. The quiet left behind at the museum fence proved a hard truth. Artistic expression is defenseless when the law itself is used as a weapon. The artists recognized they had no choice but to join the fight. They aligned with the Democracy Wall activists to launch a joint protest march toward the Beijing Municipal Building, openly demanding both political democracy and artistic freedom. But the state's tolerance had reached its limit. An activist named Wei Jingxing published an explosive essay explicitly warning that Deng Xiaoping was turning out to be a dictator just like Mao. 3 days later, Wei was arrested. To expose what was happening inside the courtroom, an electrician working the trial secretly recorded the proceedings on a small cassette. Late at night, in the dark shadows outside the court, he handed the tape off to the activists. They took the tape to a small restaurant, transcribed the audio by hand, and set up a clandestine printing operation in an apartment. Working through the night, they reproduced over 2,000 pages of the secret trial. The activists then took those big stacks of paper and plastered the entire trial transcript onto Democracy Wall. For the first time, the general public could read verbatim how the Communist Party manipulated the justice system to silence a critic. By combining the visual spectacle of the artists with the sharp public writing of the activists, the movement left the government with nowhere to hide. They forced the regime to drop the facade of reform and reveal its rigid authoritarian mechanisms. Deng Xiaoping swiftly closed the window of tolerance. He ordered the physical destruction of the democracy wall, citing a need for urban renovation, and had the brick surface replaced with a billboard. The crackdown on the organizers was severe. Leaders of the movement were handed prison sentences of up to 15 years. Many spent a decade locked in 3-square-meter cells, held in strict solitary confinement. Seeing no room left to survive or create, the artists and writers began to flee. They found asylum in Switzerland, France, the US, and in England. Today, they are still living in exile. Returning to their home country requires signing a formal application, pledging never to say or do anything that harms the Communist Party. To survive, the state requires isolation. By demolishing the wall, the regime dismantled the actual ground where people had managed to find one another. There is a classic Chinese mythological figure known as the Monkey King. He possesses the magic to transform himself into 72 different shapes, but no matter what form he takes, he remains, at his core, a monkey. In the decades since, China has replaced tricycles with high-speed rail and bungalow alleys with glass skyscrapers. But beneath the new steel and concrete, the political architecture remains fixed. The short, vivid window of 1979 laid bare a very clear reality. Artistic expression and political rights are deeply reliant on one another. An authoritarian state can pull down the art and bulldoze the brick walls, but the human desire to express, to connect, and to speak freely is a necessity that cannot be permanently erased.